Here's how you can automate an HR audit using Cloud Cruise. So right now we're in Gusto and we have a list of employees. And what we want to do is we want to extract all of the names of each of these employees, all of their profile URLs. Then we're going to navigate through each one of the profile URLs. We're going to extract the state that that employee works in, and we're also going to extract the documents in their profile. So we'll see how that works as we go through building the workflow. But obviously, it's be super manual to do ourselves. So we were to click through the UI. So let's see how we automate it using Cloud Cruise. So let's create a new workflow. And so workflows in Cloud Cruise are made up of a series of actions. The first action is going to be this start node here, and our entry point is going to be this URL that I'm currently on. We don't need any input variables for this workflow. So the first step that we're going to take, and you can see all of the different actions that I could take here, like pretty much anything you do in the browser you can automate using Cloud Cruise. But here I'm going to extract, and I'm going to extract a list of employees, extract the name and profile URL for each of the employees. Great. Now we need to define a variable to extract this information into. So variables are how Cloud Cruise essentially holds the information, extracted information in its memory, and then we can refer to it later on in the workflow, or we can save it to the output later on. So let's create a workflow. And this workflow is going to be an array or a list of items, because we're going to extract all of these. Let's call this employee list, and this list is going to be made up of a series of objects, and each one of these objects is going to essentially represent one employee. So we're going to want to have the name, and we're also going to want to have the profile URL here as well. Okay, great. So now we go back to our extract node and we can assign it to employee list. And we're probably going to want to use GPT-4 for this because there are quite a few employees that we want to extract here. Okay, let's connect those. Cool. Okay, so now we have our list of employees and we want to loop over each one so we can visit the profile of them. So let's go to the loop and we will loop over the employee list, and then the variable to access the current item is going to be the current employee. So in each iteration of the loop, we're going to go through each one of these different profiles, and the current employee is going to define each item in this list. So let's now navigate, and this is where we're going to need our current employee variable. And particularly, we're going to need the URL so we can navigate there. So we go there. Then once we're at the URL, let's jump in there and see what we get to. Okay, so once we're in here, now we want to extract this information here. We want to extract the address. So let's extract the state from the work address. And we'll create a variable here, which will be called state, which we can link up here, and that's just going to be a text. Let's use 3.5 for that. Cool. Now we want to click on the Documents tab. So we go to the Documents. So let's go here and we say, what does it look like? Okay, here. Click on the Documents tab in the employee's profile. We want to be a bit careful it doesn't get confused with this document, so we'll say Documents tab in the employee's profile. Hopefully that's specific enough for it, and we'll give it GPT-4 just so it doesn't get confused by that. And then once we get there, we're going to want to extract again. So let's extract. So extract a list. Let's say extract all the documents in the employee. Let's say extract the names of the documents in the employee's profile, extract as a single concatenated string, just so it doesn't get confused, and try and extract it as a list, just to be extra sure for that one, even though we do have the type definition there, so that should be fine. And we will use, let's use GPT-4 for that, just to be extra sure. Cool. Okay, so now the only thing that's left to do is to save all of that extracted information to our output. So saving to the output is going to essentially write one row to our output CSV. So here we want to take the employee name, we also want to take the state, and we also want to take those documents. So let's take the name here, state, and documents. Cool. So then that's this loop done. And I can go here, And then if I wanted to finish this workflow, then I could just add an end node here. And if that's, that's going to be fine, you can stop watching here. But if you also want to do pagination, so if we wanted to paginate through each one of these results here, then we need to add a little bit more to this workflow. So what we would need to do, whoa, that's too much. What we need to do is we would need to add another extract step here. So we kept track of this URL essentially that we were at before. So I would give it an extract step where I'd say extract the current page URL. And we need a new variable for that. Page URL, like so, and let's do 3.5. Page URL like that. Okay, and then when we finish the loop, then we are going to navigate back to that page. So we're going to navigate from the last profile we were on back to this overall page of employee results. So in here, let's add our page URL, current page URL, perfect. Okay, cool. So now we're back here. We need to make a decision about whether or not we should paginate. So we go to yes or no decision, like that. Great, cool. And the condition that we need to evaluate is, so I want to say return true if there is another page of results to paginate to. If this is the last page, then return false. Cool. And maybe we'll use 4 for that as well. Cool. So if this returns false, then we want to end the workflow. So we can add our end node like that. But if it's true, if we want to keep paginating, then we want to click on the next page. So click on the next page button to paginate to the next page of results. Ooh. And then we can go back to the previous extraction step where we saved the current page URL. So then if we walk through how that would actually work in practice, we will paginate to the next page, then we'll save that current page URL, we'll extract the next page of employee profiles, we'll loop through each one of those profiles, and when we're done with that loop, then we'll navigate back to that page which we saved in the extract step, and then we will evaluate, should we paginate or have we reached the last page of results? So I think that should be everything. And if I save, okay, great, so it saves correctly. So now I go to my workflows and I find my new recipe. Actually, I should have given it a name. I forgot to give it a name to begin with. Let's give it a name. Say Gusto Audit. That should be fine. Save that. Okay, so now I have Gusto Audit. No input is required for the recipe. So let's kick it off. Cool. Okay, so I can fix the layout just by clicking the layout button. Great. And now we're going to walk through each one of the actions in the workflow completely automatically. So, my hands are completely free and it's just the LLM carrying out this automation now. So in the first step, we just extracted the page URL. Now we're going to be extracting all of the employees and their profile URLs. And then we're going to loop through each one of them. And when we loop through each one of them, we'll see them appearing in the live items view over here. So you'll see exactly what has been extracted. Okay, cool. So now we've seen all the data has been extracted. You can see all these employees and all of their URLs. So we navigate to the first URL, which is here. Now we're going to extract the work address. And we click on the Documents tab. Great, so it's found the right one. Now it's going to extract the documents in the profile. And once it's extracted those documents, then it's going to save the results to the output. Cool. Okay, so now it's saving it. And then we loop on to the next employee. And you can see that we started writing to the results in my audit over here. Cool. Great. And you can see the result coming up here. Perfect. So now we're just going to iterate through this workflow and it should be working perfectly. We won't go to the end of the workflow because I think it should be pretty formulaic from here. But now you can hopefully see how you can build workflows on Cloud Cruise, and really excited to see what you build for yourself.